Hello, hi there. Looks like we already have quite a few viewers logged in and tuned in. Excellent. All right, there's already some comments coming in too. Hello to Brooke. Hello to C. Chittle. Hello, Hema. Hello, David. Hello, Karen and Debbie and Linda. Welcome. I'm Chris. You guys might recognize my voice, might recognize my hands from some other live videos that I've done. But I think this is the first YouTube live with the acrylic painting that I've done. So you get to see my face, not just my hands doing a watercolor piece kind of thing. So it's nice to see you guys. Sheetal says it's a very pretty painting. Why, thank you. Yeah, it's nice and summery, I think. Springy, summery. Could work for both. Yeah. It kind of also ties in with Pride Month a little bit, right? We've got the rainbow colors, and it's Pride Month. It's June after all, so I think it ties in well with that. Hello to Alie and to Heather. Hi there. Let's see. It is 7 o'clock. I was kind of stalling till it was 7 o'clock. We will get started. We'll go over some supplies that you need to gather. Even though we're on a live feed right now, you are able to pause and set back the playback. So if you do need to go run and grab something, pause it and then catch up. So let's go over supplies first. Paint. I'm going to do acrylic paint. I suppose if you don't have acrylic, you could do some watercolor, I think. So I've got a lot of white. I've got some black. Most acrylic paintings, if not all, you'll need black and white. And then I've got my 3 primary colors, those being yellow, red, and blue. And you can see that I don't have a fancy palette. I have an old styrofoam container, and that's where I have my paint. All the other colors that you see are all like past paintings, past colors, so they're all dry. But we will be making orange, we'll be making purple, we'll make green, we'll make brown, we'll make pink, all of those colors from just these 5 here. Of course, if you do have a bottle or a tube of orange, of pink, of brown, and you want to use that instead of mixing your own, absolutely you can do that. You'll have maybe a nicer, richer brown than, say, making a brown out of these colors. So that's what I have for paint. I have paint brushes, of course. I've got big, medium, and small. Big, medium, small. Here they are. The small's hiding. There it is. Big, medium, small. My big and my medium are flat. Flat brushes. You could have round. And then my little small one, I call him my little squirt. There he is. Nice little liner brush. These don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be specifically for acrylics. Any kind of brushes, dollar store brushes would be okay. So that's what I'm going to use. Big, medium, small. You could even probably do this painting with just like a medium and a small. The big one will just help me with the background and kind of covering a lot of area quickly. Kind of funky things here. I've got a ruler just to kind of help me make straight lines, but you can definitely eyeball it. Just to help me make, say, this straight line, the bigger straight lines. A ruler. You don't have to have that. Just have it handy if you have one around. And then a plate. I just have this plastic plate or anything round that will help you create a circle. But you can also eyeball it as well. But the circle will help you visualize this plate, bowl. What else is circular? A big coaster lying around. I guess depending on the size and scale of your canvas or paper. So that's what I'm going to use to help me make a circle. Choose a circular shape appropriate to the size that you're doing. Where will I put this? Over here. And I've got my cup of water, junky cup, lots of stains. Don't use your good glassware, and yeah, you'll get stained. And then I don't accidentally drink from this ever, because it's just so gross looking that I'll never just like bring it to my lips. No confusion there. I use a rag to dry my brushes, but paper towel would be fine. Paper towel. That's really all the supplies. I mean, canvas or paper of some kind. So mine's 16 by 20. This could be a 12 by 16 would look nice. A square even, if you don't have a rectangle, a square canvas would be okay. Paper, thick art media paper. There's, acrylic / oil paper out there you could get. What else could you paint on? A rock, a piece of wood, a piece of masonite. I've seen people paint directly on the wall itself. Isn't that funny? A t-shirt, a white t-shirt with some fabric paint would be very nice too. What else could you paint this on? I've seen a painting actually done on someone's back, like their husband took his shirt off and they painted acrylic paint on their husband's back. It's been done. I've seen it done. It was funny. I've got my apron on, pop an apron on, or a junky t-shirt or a smock. Put down a plastic sheet, tablecloth. This is an old bed sheet, newspaper, protect your surface. Okay, I'm gonna see, well, maybe I should get a blank canvas. And way over here, all the way over here. So because we're in the pandemic, I don't have a lot of access to canvas all the time. I like to reuse my canvases, so you might notice that mine's a little bit murky looking. It's not perfectly white. There was a painting under it, and I paint over it so I can reuse canvases over and over. That's why mine looks a little murky looking. Let's see if we can have both of these in the frame at the same time. Yeah, that's pretty good. Get you zoomed in a little bit. Okay. So we are going to do the background first. And I've used like soft pastel-y colors in the background. Of course, you don't have to use the exact same colors that I use. You can use any colors that you want. If you want your bicycle to be more realistic and have a black tire and the color of the frame is the color of your bike, let's say, or the color of your friend's bike, you're going to gift this painting to them. Change any of the colors at any point, even the flowers. If you want to change the flowers to be a basket full of groceries, a basket with a kitten in it or a puppy, anything at all that you want to change about this painting, you do it, because this is your painting, this is your world, and I love to see all the different variations. Okay, what was I saying? Pastel colors. So I'm going to do this kind of like a teal, yellow, orange, pink. If you want to do purple, pink, purple, pink, or a whole bunch of different blues, absolutely anything at all. So Yamlet's question is the canvas already painted? Only because I had a painting underneath this and I put white on top so I can do this painting on here. I reuse canvases. So that's why it looks like it has paint on it already. We're going to put paint on it right now. Here's my big brush. I like to get the brush wet. And we're going to paint a thin layer of white, just white. It'll be tough to see the white on white, but you at home, you know where you've already painted, right? You can see where you've already got some white paint. And I like to get some water in my brush too. Dunk it in some white there. So it's kind of like watery white, but just like a thin coat over the whole thing. Even if your canvas is already white, it's already like white, just do a little thin coat of white. It doesn't have to be, straight lines. Mine are all kind of crisscrossy all over the place. It doesn't have to be 100% coverage if there's little gaps and spaces. Oh, I touched a little bit of my red accidentally. Whoops. A little too close on the red there. That's okay. We're going to put some pink there anyway. Sometimes I like to pick up the canvas. Yeah, this is a real treat for me. I'm often teaching here on the YouTube channel, but you guys just see my hands because I'm doing the watercolor from above. Well, I guess technically right now you can only see my hands too. Isn't that funny? I do kind of scooch it like this for a bit. Yeah, you can see the face behind the work. So just a little bit of white kind of all over the place. I haven't even fully covered the whole thing. Just kind of maybe it's like 80% covered, just a little bit of wet white all over the place. Grab a little water. Water helps it spread out. There we go. Yours will probably be whiter than mine because you probably started with a whiter canvas. Mine was kind of murky. There we go. So think about the colors you want. So I'm going to start with yellow up here. I've got yellow here. Light yellow, pastel yellow. My brush still has a bit of white paint in it. I'm not even going to wash it out because I need some white. So here's some yellow, here's some white. Yellow, white, make like a light yellow, pastel yellow, mellow yellow. And when I put it on, I'm kind of lightly grazing and kind of doing crisscrossy brush strokes, kind of messy. I would call it painterly, not messy. It's not messy, it's painterly. So I'm kind of focusing on the top left corner with the yellow. The very middle is white in the background. The very, very, very middle is white. So yellow is kind of bunched in this corner, teal in kind of this corner. But, you know, you could bring your yellow all the way to the middle if you wanted. Up to you. You don't have to leave kind of a whitish gap in the middle. So it doesn't take a lot of paint. I'm still using like the same initial amount that I had in my brush. Like I haven't even re-dipped for more paint. I'm just lightly adding some yellow, very light, wisping it on there. There's some white gaps, that's okay. You can bring it down the side a little. Yeah, so think about this. This is the yellow quadrant. How much yellow do you want in your yellow quadrant? Oh, I went a little south there, that's okay. This painting will turn out differently than the original. Yours at home will turn out different than mine. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's wrong because they're different. We love to celebrate those differences and see everyone's different personalities coming out. So I think that's a good amount of yellow for me. Very light. I really only used one dip of my paintbrush. Very light, patchy, whatever level of yellow you want there. That's pretty good. I'll bring my light a little closer. Come here, you light. There we go. Okay, so yellow. I'm going to do the orange kind of quadrant next. But again, choose any color that you want instead. I have there's still a little bit of that yellowy white in my brush. I'm not even going to wash it. I'm just going to grab a little red. Red plus yellow is orange. So if I grab a little red, like a little bit of red, add it to my yellow that exists in this corner. And I'm going to add a little more yellow, add a little more red. So I'm making kind of I guess it's in this corner. I can rotate. Here it is. Like a peachy color. Orange plus white is what we're going for here. If you have like a bottle or a tube of orange already and you want to use it instead of mixing your own, absolutely. So I've got kind of a peachy, light orange. Yellow and red plus white gives me this kind of peachy. Yeah. And we don't need a ton, probably just this one brush load will do. And the same thing, kind of light, wispy brush strokes, kind of crisscrossy, messy, all directions in this kind of area here. It could be as light as you want or as dark as you want, as far down the side as you want. White gaps are okay once again. Or any other way you want to address the background. If you have like a different idea for how you want the background to be, do it. If you want patches of colors all over the place, that could be nifty. Big polka dots in the background. Okay, so again, I kind of went a little more into the middle than say this one where I left a lot of the middle white. but I'm not mad at it. These will look amazing regardless of exactly following the other example. Okay, looks like a lovely peachy color orange. Do I want more than that? Yeah, I just gradually build up if I feel like I want more orange. I could just gradually add little bits at a time. And I'm still working off that just one brush load, really. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Any amount. Any amount. Is that like too bright that I brought the light closer? I'm gonna rinse that out. I'm gonna rinse out that orange because the next color I want to use doesn't involve orange. So I might as well rinse that out. And I use my rag, which is an old t-shirt, which is more green than using paper towels every time I paint, which is usually every day. So an old t-shirt, like I get paint, like if I got paint on a t-shirt while painting, that becomes my next rag. Okay. Let's go, we'll keep going clockwise, let's say. Pink, pinky, light pink, could be purpley pink. In this area, got my clean brush, get a tiny bit of red, a little bit of red plus white. Red plus white is pink. And we don't need a ton, remember. We don't need a whole bunch. And whatever shade of pink you want. So here, I've got some pink going on the side here. Bubblegum pink, baby pink. Maybe I'll put a little bit more red in there. Any shade, any darkness that you want. That's pretty, I like that, that's good. And again, yeah, I like to pick it up sometimes. Little wisps. Exactly how we've been doing. In the pink quadrant. All right, so let me get caught up on some comments here. C. Chittle's using a paper plate for a palette. Very good. Yep, that works. Hello in Alabama to Sheila. Hello to Tara in Lake Simcoe. I'm in London, Ontario, so I'm not actually in the Durham region, even though I'm with Artist Palette Durham region. I'm in London, so I'm about 2 hours away from Durham region itself. And it's kind of overcast, a little bit rainy tonight. Light drizzle happening, which is good. I've got a brand new planted garden. Needs some rain. Aaliyah asked if I used pencil. Nope, I'm not using pencil at all. You could use some pencil. Later when I do like the sketch of the bike, you could definitely use a pencil to do the sketch, but I'll be using paint to do the sketch. Okay, so is that enough pink? That looks like enough pink to me. Any amount of pink. I am going to rinse that out because I don't need pink to make my next color. But let's say you wanted to do purple over here. You could just leave your brush with some pink in it to help you make the purple. I'm always thinking about the next color I'm about to do, so I don't rinse out my brush prematurely and waste that brush load of paint, let's say. M. Altman is from Walpole Island, but 2 hours from me. Okay, I haven't heard of that. Okay, what did I say? Like a teal? It could be teal, it could be light blue, it could be green, whatever strikes your fancy down here. I will show you how to make a teal. Here's some blue here. Now everyone's teal might turn out differently because everyone's using a different brand and shade of blue. My blue is phthalo blue, but let's say you're using cobalt or ultramarine, you'll get a different looking teal because we're using different colors and brands. Phthalo blue, I'm going to get a tiny bit, little bit. I'm going to mix it with some white. Let's get some over here. Let's put it there. Blue and white. I'm making baby blue. And you don't need a ton of this. Baby blue. Baby blue is right there. I'm going to add a tiny bit of yellow. Tiny bit. So I'm just get a little bit of yellow. Add that to my baby blue. And you'll see it go a little greener. Go a little minty. And there's still quite a bit of white in there, so it's kind of like a sea foam green even. So if you want to darken that with some blue and make it like bluer, if you want it greener, add a little more yellow. And add a little bit more blue here. But just that teeny tiny bit of yellow just kind of tealified it. That's a word. That's the color I'm going to use. Any color, but pretty much just baby blue plus a little speck of yellow will get you a lovely kind of pastel teal. Light wisps again. If I'm getting ahead of you, let's say you're still on the second color. Remember, you can pause. Pause. You can set it back if you want to hear something again. Also, this video will be immediately on our YouTube page forever. So let's say you get called away and you're halfway done. Don't worry, that video will be up immediately after the live ends. So you'll have all week, all month, all year, forever to finish your painting. Maybe this is a little bit darker than I had it here. I might, let's say any of these colors that you did are maybe too dark for you. I will show you what I'm going to do to lighten it, just in case you have a bit that's too dark. Mine got a little dark on me. I'm going to give that a rinse. Give that a rinse. If there's any sections that, are a little dark for you, grab just plain old white. Plain old white. And then you lightly brush it on top of whatever it looks too dark. So let's say this little patch here looks a little dark to me. Lightly wisp. Oh, this looks a little dark, let's say. Lightly wisp some white. This got a little dark on me. So we'll just lightly add some white. And it'll blend. It'll blend with the wet paint. That's fine. It's lightening it. That looks a little better. Just wanted it a little lighter just so we can kind of have the focus be the bicycle. The bicycle's the focus. The background is fluff. It's filler. It's filler. Rosalind says that they'll do this soon. Excellent. Yeah, you can definitely just watch for a while and kind of get the feel of it, and then and do it on your own time, at your own pace. Absolutely. Okay. My yellow is drying nicely. Because we've wisped the colors so lightly, this is going to dry almost instantly. This is pretty dry. This tacky, and well, we just did that, so give that an extra minute or two. I'm already covered in paint. I think someone's on my elbow. Yeah, there's someone on my elbow. Who else is covered in paint already? Hence the apron and the tablecloth. Rinse that out. So I said we were going to do a sketch of the bike with paint. If you do want to grab a pencil, go ahead. But I will show you how to sketch with paint. Rosalind, my canvas is 16 by 20 today. 12 by 16 is also a good size. Maybe 10 by 12. A square could work. Or bigger. Ooh, wouldn't this look great? Like really big? Yes. Yes, yes. Oh, see, I just got more paint on me. Okay, what are we doing here? Tacky. Oh, I can use my plate. Okay. If you haven't already grabbed something circular for your wheel, grab something that's a circle for the wheel. Mine's just a plastic plate. Yeah, paper plate. What else? Like a charger plate. bowl. I'm looking around. There's a bucket, a tin. What else is circular? I guess even if you had a compass, like one of those tools that makes a circle, perfect. Use that. Okay, well, even if it's a little tacky, we can do our sketch. A little tacky, that's okay. I'm going to be sketching using my thin paintbrush. And whenever I'm doing a sketch in a painting, I like to use a light color so that all the rest of the painting will cover up the sketch. And even if a little of the sketch is showing at the end, it's light, so you don't notice it very much. So in this example, I did my sketch in yellow. And even from this distance, I can see a little bit of my yellow sketch peeking out, but you guys can't tell, you can't see it. So just think about that. Your viewer is not looking at your painting from like 1 foot away. Your viewer is looking at your painting from like across the room. So they won't notice little boo-boos, little sketchy bits. Okay, so I'm probably not going to do yellow for my sketch because I don't think you'll be able to see it. I'll probably do pink for my particular sketch. But if you guys want to do yellow as your sketch at home, because you can see your own yellow. Let's try pink as the sketch. Tiny brush, a little red, a little white, make some pink. A little water. I like to add water because I have very thick acrylic paint. Maybe yours is a little bit more runny. But yeah, a little water helps it glide on the canvas a little more. I am going to start with my wheel, my circle. So it's not right in the center. It's a little bit south of the center, the wheel. So have a little bit of space for like the ground. So this is the cute side of the foot. If you're working upright like I am, place it down on the table to help you trace the circle. I'm going to have to hold it upright like this and trace it upright. I can do it. So loosely outline it, trace it. If it's a little bit gappy, that's fine. This is just the underneath sketch. So even if it's a choppy line, that's okay. I hope my pink is dark enough that you guys can see it. Well, I guess you will see in a moment. Let's see how I did. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty light. It's pretty light. Let's bring it up a little bit. Okay, yeah, you can see that's how I traced my plate. It's a little bit gappy. That's okay. It's just to help me with my wheel. And my sketch is very, very light, not a lot of paint. We don't want thick globs. No globs. If you have globs, spread them out. Flatten out the globs. You don't want lumps. Okay, so that's my wheel. So yeah, a few inches from the bottom, and it's pretty centered left, right. Pretty centered. Okay, that's the wheel. Let's add some like the basics of the framework. The basics. So I might darken my pink just for demonstration purposes, so you guys can see it a little better. But you don't need a dark sketch. Okay. Find the middle of your circle. The circle you just made, where's approximately the middle? Make a little dot, a little X, a little blob, sort of the middle. So look left, right, top, bottom, middle. We want a piece of frame that goes, yeah, I can point with this. We want this piece of frame. We're just going to make a line. We don't need to like put like the thickness of it, just a line horizontally. If you do have a ruler, that can help you kind of make a line. If you don't have a ruler, just eyeball it. So it's just going a little bit beyond the circle. to kind of where the petal attaches there. So I'm just going to go right like that, just a line. We'll give it thickness, we'll give it color after the sketch is done. Okay, from that point, we're going to go up to where we want the seat to be. So think about where you want your seat. So here's the middle. The seat is a little to the right of that. So here's kind of where I want my seat to end up. So we might as well put the seat there, and then we'll connect that line. So, you know, kind of like a saddle seat. What would you describe that shape as? Like a weird bean shape, maybe? Let me make it a little bit more curvy. It's just a sketch. It's messy. You could, you know, start smaller than you think you need and then expand it a little bit, but messy. Sort of where my seat's going to end up. And that's going to get covered in black, so I don't have to worry about extra lines. Okay. We need to connect here, up middle of the seat, so kind of like right here to here. So eyeball it with a straight line or grab a ruler to help you visualize that straight line. That looks pretty good. Maybe not even a ruler. Maybe if you have like a junky magazine nearby, you can line it up and not worry about if you get some paint on it. Maybe you have, I don't know, what else is straight that you wouldn't worry about getting some paint on. Okay. Again, no thick globs. No thick globs. All right, so this and this, there's a piece connecting them for support. Kind of a triangle shape. It doesn't go all the way to the seat. So just a few inches down from there, maybe about here, back down to that center point of the wheel. So Emily, you can always pause to catch up. If you are slowing down, you can pause the video. Even though it's live, it is pausable. There's my support piece of framework coming up to here. Makes a nice little triangle there. You can see that triangle right here. Lovely. Okay, and then just to kind of finish off this direction, from that same point, that same corner point, just a little bit of frame goes up and away. So I'm just going to eyeball it there. Maybe that's like a 45-degree off into the distance, right off the page. And then a curvy piece of framework. So kind of between here and here. Between here and here. A little bit of frame, and it curves away. There we go. Oh, I flipped the paint on that one. Whoops. There we go. Look at, I'm just a mess. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, so we've got this nice curving bit going off there. More sketch here. Let's start with the basket holding device that you strap the basket onto, that part. So let's see, attached here, between here, right here, horizontal line. So you can use your trusty ruler or just eyeball it again. Roughly horizontal, make sure it's not kind of slanting up or down, any crazy angles. As far out as you think is appropriate. If you want it a little shorter, a little longer than I have. And here's where our basket's going to be. So have it come out long enough that a basket can be here. Any shape. It doesn't have to be this size or shape of basket. Maybe a little bit more, maybe like that. That's good. Let's see, what do I want to do next, framework-wise? All the other stuff is kind of like, yeah, we'll just do it as it is. So I think I might end my sketch at that. That's the major parts of the sketch that we need to get in there. So I'm good on the pink. I'm gonna wash my brush from the pink. Vicky, it's nice to meet you too. Okay. I would like to work on the wheel first, and I'll tell you why. We'll do the wheel first because the frame goes over the wheel. So it's just easier if we just paint the wheel first, and then when we paint the frame, we can just go like this, like that. Easy. Lots of color mixing coming our way here. If you already have a purple, if you already have an orange already pre-made, you're ahead of me already. Because I'll have to show you how to make those. Okay, let's start kind of here. I've got it blue, purple, red, orange. But if you want to have a different orientation, if you want your blue to start here, blue, purple, either way. I'm going to start with just plain old blue. Sorry, I'm using my medium brush. Medium brush for pretty much a whole lot of the painting that's coming up here. Because then we'll do the fine brush, the little brush, for all the details later. So for a long, long time, I'll be using the medium brush. We need to give our wheel a thickness. So I'm just going to use the thickness of my brush itself to be the thickness of my wheel. Maybe you have maybe your medium brush is more like this, so it's too wide, but you could turn it on its side and do this way versus doing it broad. Or you could just have a big wheel. There are different widths of wheels. We're going to have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So six colors here. So think about that. So we want to do about a sixth of the wheel blue, but it's not an exact amount. Blue. And don't worry about perfect, crisp edges. Mine is not perfect and crisp. It's kind of not messy. Painterly is the word I use. So don't worry about perfect edges. Like, look, messy. And black is going on top of this blue, so don't worry. There's blue. That's all I'm going to do on the blue. Okay. There's still a little blue on my brush. Why don't I make green with some of that blue? So I'm going to wipe off some of my blue, actually. There's still a bit of blue in my brush, not a whole lot. We need to make green. So here is yellow plus blue in my brush. Here, mix it together. So the blue in my brush is mixing with the yellow I just grabbed. Here's a lovely green, any shade of green. Any shade. And then I'm going to add some green here. Let's say you can see a little bit of your sketch under any of these colors. Add a tiny bit of white. Add a little bit of white into it. It'll help boost its opaqueness. Is that a word? Opacity? Opacity? Opaqueness? Here's a little blue. Here's a little green. And then where the blue and the green are touching, I'm going to make some blue-green. So there's some green. I think that's a good amount of green there. So I have green in my brush. Here's some blue. Mix them together. Blue-green. So I'm just going to put a little of that, kind of blend the two of them together. Right on top of some of the green, right on top of some of the blue. It could be streaky. Yeah, just kind of softens that that joint where the blue and the green touch, kind of a bluey green. Good, good. I'm going to give that a little rinse because I want to go on to yellow, and having all that blue-green in my brush is no good for yellow. Okay, so my yellow of this particular brand is very see-through. I know that just from years of working with it. This is very see-through yellow, so I'm going to add some white with my yellow. You probably or might not have to do that step. Your yellow might be more opaque than mine. But let's say you put some yellow on here and you see your sketch through the yellow, then you know it's a little bit too see-through. Add a little white. There's some yellow. Yeah, any amount. I mean, if the green is less amount than the yellow, no one's gonna matter. No one's gonna mind. It's all good. And if you have favorite colors, maybe a little bit more. I do like yellow. Maybe I'll go a little bit right to there with the yellow. That's not bad. And I can see a little of the pink showing through. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I'm gonna make, again, some yellow green to kind of blend here. I've got yellow on my brush. Here's a little bit of green. Mix them together, yellow green. And just kind of blend the two. And they're both still wet, so it should kind of mush together anyway. Again, it could be streaky, that's fine. The edge doesn't have to be perfect along the edges. This is kind of bumpy here. That's okay. Okay, yellow. We're going to go into orange. Orange. I have to think about that for a second. Give that a little rinse. Green does not belong in orange. A little orange. So I have some pale peachy orange from before, but I want more of a vibrant orange. So I'm going to go tiny bit of red. The red goes a long way. That's why I always just use tiny bits of red. And well, I might as well use, I've got this little patch of yellow on the side. I'll use that little bit there. And just gradually add red to get to the desired shade of orange. Start with a tiny bit of red, and you make light orange, and then gradually add a little bit more to darken the orange till your desired orangey color. That's pretty good orange. I might go a little bit more red. That's pretty good. So look at the space you have left of your wheel. We need to do orange, red, purple, right? So we should be about halfway. Blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple. If you're a little bit under halfway around the wheel, just plan the rest of your wheel accordingly. So whatever you have left, you need orange, red, purple. Let's say you have less room than I do. I'm just going to do orange, red, purple. I guess you could add like another color if you wanted to add pink. You could go orange, red, pink, purple. That could work. There's orange. That's a lovely kind of creamsicle orange, I think. There's some orange. And again, I want to kind of blend where the yellow and orange are going to touch there. So I'm going to mix. I've got some orange on my brush. I've got some yellow here. Mix them together. Orangey yellow, yellowy orange. Where they join. Yeah, mine is streaky. Here, streaky. Here, streaky. Cool. So we're going to do red, purple. Think about how much space. Red, purple. And give that a little rinse. Grab some red. So I've got my red here. I'm going to add Personally, I'm going to add a tiny bit of yellow to my red. My red is kind of a pinkish red. So by adding a tiny bit of yellow to my pinkish red, it's like, I don't know, fire truck red, but just use the red that you have. This much. Red. And then I want to make like a reddish orange, so I'm going to mix red and orange together. Blend. Does it connect there? Okay. Last little section, purple. Purple. So everyone's purples are going to look different. We're all using different brands of paint. We're using different shades of blue. We're using different shades of red. I find that the blue has the most influence on how your purple turns out. I think the best blue to make purple, if you have options at home, ultramarine. Ultramarine makes a very nice warm purple. I'm going to go ahead with the phthalo blue to make my purple. It'll be like grapier, I think. So here's how I am going to make the purple. Tiny bit of blue. There's a little blue. Let's put it here. Good scoop of red. Blue and red. Make purple. And it'll look really dark. It looks almost black. And it's scary how dark that purple is. And you're like, that's not purple. It's going to ruin my wheel. So that's what, yeah, look at it. It's like wine. Dark. Watch what happens when I add just a touch of white. So let me get a little white here. Little bit of white. Start to see the actual color show up. Little bits of white at a time, guys. Don't go too light. I've got a little tiny bit more. A little bit more, gradually. Okay, now it's been purplier. Look at that. If you had, say, at home, maybe you have a magenta or a permanent rose color, that would make a lovely purple. If you have a bottle or a tube of purple, use that. So that's what my purple looks like. Everyone's purples are going to be different. If you do want it a more reddish purple, throw a bit more red into it. A cooler purple, add more blue. I'm going to stick with that. Purple. So we wrapped up the circumference of the wheel. A little thick there, that's okay. I'm going to make kind of a reddish purple and kind of blend that, but then I'm also going to make a purpley blue. I've got purple in my brush. I'm going to do the reddish purple first. Right here, red plus purple. It'll end up being kind of darker. Let me wash that off. Not too dark. Streaky. And then I'll make a purple-blue mix and kind of blend that a little better. Blue, purple, just a tiny bit. Looks pretty good. That looks really good. Okay. While that dries a little bit, the wheel's going to dry, then we could do the frame that goes on top of it. While that does its thing, we might as well get to work on some stuff up here, right? While it dries. Give that a little rinse. Okay. I'm going to do this rack thing. The rack thing that the the basket's going to sit on. Any color. Like I've chosen like kind of a yellowy, creamy color. This could be blue. This could be black, green. It could be the same color as the frame that you're going to do. Any color. I'm going to do pink today. Any color you want. If you were going to say do this part yellow or a light color, add some white. Definitely add some white if you're going to do a light color to cover up your sketch, if your sketch is kind of dark like mine. I'm going to do pink just because I can. I never want to do the same exact painting twice. Just change it up a little bit. Pink looks good. Any width. I'm just, again, doing the width of my brush itself, but you want it thinner, thicker. Just like it's a platform for the basket to sit on. So make it, sturdy looking, not paper thin. Okay. And yeah, mine isn't perfectly straight. Mine is not, the edge isn't crisp. It's a little messy. That's all part of the style. And we're going to add outlines, and those outlines are going to be messy too. All part of my style. Okay, pink looks kind of cute. I like that against like the yellow in the background there. I like that. I want to put in my basket. I will show you brown for the basket if you want to do purple basket, blue basket, the basket from your bike as a child. Okay, brown. If you have a pre-mixed brown, definitely use that. If it's very dark brown, you can add some white to lighten it to kind of like a wicker color, I would guess that would be wickery color. But I'll show you how to make a brown. It won't be as nice as like a pre-made brown. This is gonna be like baby poop brown. Basics for making brown, opposite colors on the color wheel will make brown. So complementary colors, red plus green together will make brown. Blue plus orange together will make brown. Purple plus yellow together will make brown. Complements just make brown. In my case, there's a kind of an easier way to do it with the paint brand that I have. You can try it with yours. I make orange first, so a little red, a little yellow, make an orange. So a little bit of red, more yellow. I make my orange first. And we don't need a ton. We're just doing the basket in the brown, unless you want a brown bicycle. So there's a lovely orange. And then I'm going to add a little black. Now this works with my brand of paint, Start Acrylic. It might not work with your brand, but you could try it. Orange plus black. So there's my brown. If that didn't work out for you, try doing red plus green together. That's my next go-to. I could do red plus green. So there's a brown. I can lighten this with white. So here's some white. You could warm it up with more red. You can make it more yellowy wicker. There's my brown plus some white. I kind of like that. That's giving me kind of wicker vibes. Now I don't necessarily want to like fully mix everything, because when I did these kind of shapes, these wiggly lines, you can kind of see little bits that are unmixed. So it's okay if your paint is not fully mixed. If there's little white patches or yellow patches, is fine. Think about the shape of the basket you want to make and leave enough room for some flowers. So maybe you're starting to run out of room here just based on where this is. Think about how much you want to do flowers versus basket. So I might make my basket a little bit smaller so I have more room for flowers. Maybe go like this, maybe like here, and then maybe this across. Any shape. It could be, this shape could be more rounded, more rectangle. That's where my basket's going to be. A little smaller than that one. And I'm just going to make wiggly lines as I go across to fill it in. It's not an exact science. Yeah, if you have like bits of white or brown that are unmixed, that adds to the effect. Or even yellow, little bits of yellow unmixed. Just kind of wiggling along, putting a thin layer of paint down. Yeah, a little patchy. I mean, there's some dark bits there, and you could purposely put in some darker bits, lighter bits. It's a little bit darker. Maybe black. Let's see what I can do here. That's a little dark. Oh, that's a little dark for me. Play around with it if you find a way to make some texture that works for you. That's a little dark. Give me some, a little yellow, a little white. You can lighten your brown with yellow or white. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm just playing around. It's going to look completely different than my other one. Interesting. I'm not mad at that. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. But that's not the focus. People are going to be looking at your flowers, the bike itself. The basket is just filler, just a placeholder. Okay. We'll let that dry before we add anything like the little railing in front of it. How is this doing? Oh, yeah. This is good. So we can continue with our rainbow frame of our bike because we can kind of pass over these areas. Let's see, I've got yellow, pink, green, blue, orange, but really any colors you want to do on your frame. And again, I'm going to probably do it about the thickness of my brush, that thick. Let's start. I'm going to start here yellow, and then I'll do those pink bits. Again, I'm going to do yellow with my white. So if you still have some of that yellow mixed with white, yellow mixed with white will help cover our little sketch. Little water. I have thick paint. Okay, so we'll go here. Maybe about half, but really any amount if you want to do fully yellow, green, purple, anything. Yellow, and then I'll do some yellow going this way. Yeah, I'm not worried about, wiggly edges. It's okay. And then what did I say? Pink? I have pink right here. Pink. And we're going right over that bike wheel. The frame is in front of the bicycle, so it's going over that. So let's say this section is yellow here and you're having trouble covering the yellow on top of the purple, because purple is much darker. Add a bunch of white to it. Add white. Yellow is kind of blending. It's okay if some of the pink and yellow like blend with each other a little bit. Makes kind of an orange. Kind of make the two wet paints kind of blend together and get a whole new color of orange. Kind of a nice peach. Perfect peach right there. And yeah, mine's a little bit sketchy, streaky. That's okay. I like the look. And this is going right over the wheel. Over the wheel, over the wheel. Uh-oh. Paint on the table. It escaped my tablecloth. Oh well. Okay, what else do I got here? I have this bit here. On that one's it's orange, so I might as well do orange here. Oh, I've got my yellow here. I've got some pink in my brush. If I mix the pink and the yellow, I kind of make an orange. Or I've got orange sitting right here. Why don't I just use that? It's sitting right here. Why complicate things? So this one's going to be orange, and that goes right off the page. Or any color. Any color. There you go. I'll give that a little rinse. A little rinse-a-roo. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah, we've got green coming up here. And then I did blue going that way. I'm going to do that, but if you want to do different colors, absolutely. I've got some green from before. I'm going to make it kind of a pastel green with some white. Here's my little green puddle. Here's some white. Green and white. Pastel green. Or any color you want to do. Okay, so this one's a bit of a longer one. Just take your time. Need a little water. If you're having trouble spreading the paint, add a little water. It makes it spreadable. Spreadable. Mine's not perfect. I don't expect anyone's to be perfect. There we go. Lovely. Kind of a minty green. It's kind of minty green. Yeah, I'll give that a rinse. I'll do the light blue. Light blue, baby blue. Could be medium blue, dark blue. Rambling. So I'm going to do a baby blue, blue and white, a little bit of blue, much more white, and that'll be my last bit of frame here. Here the white helps cover up the sketch underneath. Oh, that's looking so cute. I wish I had a bike that was actually like this. But how would they make that rainbow tire? Anita, yes, we're using acrylic paint today. Yeah, usually I'm on the YouTube live doing the watercolors, but today I'm doing the acrylics. Lots of fun. That's looking good. So yeah, just double check that your frame is applied nice and thin and even, no thick globs. If you see any thick globs, rinse out your paintbrush. Get a nice clean dry paintbrush and then just smooth out any blobs. Thick globby area, so I've got this thick globby yellow bit, spread that out. thin it out, smooth it out, because we want that to dry. Thick globs will take longer to dry. Oh, a special guest just appeared. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. This is Max. He's been known to ruin paintings with his tail or his paws. So we'll let him sit there for about 10 more seconds before he gets booted. Where'd you go? There's the tail. I know what you're after. Sit down. Rinse. So this looks very colorful right now, but once we get all those lovely black details, it's just gonna pop. It's gonna pop even more with all those black details. Okay, let's start getting in some of our flowers. So we've had loads of practice mixing every color of the rainbow so far, because we've got all of them already. So you could work with the colors you already have on your palette or make new colors. You don't have to make the exact same flowers I'm doing in those positions. If you want to do sunflowers, tulips, roses, daisies, whatever you feel like doing. I'm not even 100% sure what kind of flowers I was going for. Am I going for like lilacs over there? Are these like chrysanthemums? What was I going for? I was just going for floral impressionism. That's what I was kind of going for. So don't feel like you have to put the same exact colors in the same exact places that I'm doing. If you have less room, do less flowers. I'm gonna do, let's do red. Let's start with red. Just gonna grab some red, plain old red, and make a blob somewhere. Let's go right here. A blobby shape, like literally a blobby shape of red. Blobby shape. You can overlap the basket a little bit if you want. Nothing fancy there. Then what I do to kind of get a little bit more texture onto it, I am going to wipe off my brush, not necessarily wash it. I'm going to wipe it off. Wipe it off. So there's still a little red in there. I'm going to get a little white on my brush. This is wet. This is wet. Still wet. And then I just kind of swipe some white. And it turns a little bit pinky, turns a little bit red. It's a little like blobby. Just right on top of the wet red. Oh, that's too close. There we go. Wet white on the wet red. Gives it a little scooch of texture without being too fussy. It's the impression of flowers. It's not like a finely detailed floral arrangement basket. And we're going to do that for all of these different flower shapes. If you have another method that you want to use, absolutely go for it. We've got some purple right here. Let's use that. Sitting there. Purple. A little blobby shape of purple here. It could overlap some of the red. It could overlap some of the basket. It could be a different shape altogether. So there's my blobby purple shape. I'm going to just wipe off my brush, but there's still a little purple in it. That's okay. Grab a little white on the brush. Wet white on the wet purple. Little blobby blobs, little short little brush strokes. Texturize it a little bit. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to overwork it. If you keep adding more and more paintbrush strokes, it's just going to turn into one smooth shape. Minimal brush strokes. What else do I have just hanging out on my palette? I've got some orange hanging out, just waiting to be used. Oh, I hear a cat fight. I have 4 cats, guys. 4. Max is just 25% of the total cat that I own. Let's do some orange because it's so lovely next to the purple. orange blob. So there's my wet orange blob. Oh, I did that. Don't rinse it, wipe it. There we go. Got away from me there. A little bit of white on my brush. Add my little white texture. It does turn a little bit orange. That's perfect. Just texturize it a little bit. Yeah, you can have, like, if you want to do 2 patches of orange, 2 patches of red, anything, anywhere. I'm going to do yellow. Do yellow next, personally, but any color would be good next. Yellow. Yeah, if you want to make kind of taller, lankier flowers, they kind of remind me of lilacs, you can do that. I'm going to do some yellow over here. That looks good. Wipe. Add my white. That looks pretty good. And then, yeah, so this bouquet will be maybe a little bit simplified than that one. That one's got 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 9-ish flowers in that one. This one maybe like I'll do 6, something like that. I love to look at the blue that's over there. I'm gonna do a blue, any shade of blue. That's kind of like a medium blue. It's got a tiny bit of white in it. Maybe I'll do like a taller, like, what would that shape be? Like a unicorn horn, kind of a thing. It's blue. Give that a wipe and add your white. And then I think, yeah, I kind of did these kind of upwards kind of brush strokes in this one. Let's see if I can angle you up there. Now this one I kind of did like a upward white brush stroke, but it's still changing into like a bluey color. The blue is very wet still. Yeah, upward kind of gives it a different look. I'll do that one more time. I'll make, what color? Let's do pink. Let's do pink. Got lots of pink still. Use up whatever colors you have on your palette. Don't let those go to waste. A little water. And I'll do another one of the tall ones. And use up whatever negative space you have over here. Use up that space. So if you have like kind of more room over here than I do, you can add maybe one coming up this way, maybe something cascading. Oh, there's a little blue in there. Turning it a little bit purple. There's some pink, and I'll do the same thing with the white. A little white on the brush, and I'll do the same kind of upward white brush strokes. White on pink. Turning into a very light pink. Okay, there we go. Yeah, again, don't overwork it. If you do too many brush strokes, you lose all of that lovely white definition. That's kind of cool. So I'm looking over here. I've got green leaves, and then I've got a couple of little fallen petals. Sure, any color that you have here. Put like 2 or 3 little petals that have fallen out. I'm gonna do red. just falling out. Let's see what's here. 2 or 3. Don't overdo it. That looks good. Little red petals. And we'll throw some green leaves. And then it's just, yeah, all the black details. For a long while, we'll be doing black details. Leaves. So we have some green from earlier, but I kind of pastelified my green, so I'm going to have to make new green. Here's my pastel. Tiny bit of blue. Bunch of yellow. And make a green. This is a lovely shamrock green. Yours could be more like a deep green. Blue-green leaves, those exist. Lemon lime leaves, that works too. Any kind of leaves. You could have pastel leaves, that's fine. That's my green. I like to add a lot of water if I'm going to make leaves. I know I'm going to make leaves. Bunch of water into my green, so it's more liquidy, smoother. Let me show you how I make leaves. My patent pending leaf technique. Let's bring this closer. I guess right there is good. I press my paintbrush and flick it. So we'll do it here so you can see. Press and flick outward. Press and flick. Press and flick. Press, flick. Press and flick. Press and flick. So the harder you press, the fatter the leaf, and then you flick it out. Press, flick. Tuck the leaves wherever you want. Press and flick. It could be overlapping the basket, overlapping flowers. Press and flick. Even if the colors smudge a little bit, that's okay. Press and flick. Okay. And it's filling it out nicely. Yeah, little groups of 2 are cute. Single leaves are cute. Maybe even a leaf that's fallen, because maybe the petals and maybe one leaf has fallen out. Press and flick. A little leaf fell out. Oh no. There could be some from the basket here. And do I want more? Also know when to stop. Know when the composition looks nice and you don't need more. Less is more sometimes. That looks pretty good. I like that. Okay, so yeah, we've used, so many colors. Color, every color so far. Now we're going to do all of our black details. Lots and lots of black details to really make this pop. It pops now, but it's going to really, really stand out. Okay, what shall I do first? I'm thinking bicycle seat because it's nice and big and wide, and we'll just get started with the black on the bicycle seat. Might as well, if you want a different color seat, any color at all. Do I need to keep saying it? Change up any colors anytime. I'm going to do a black bicycle seat. Nice, thin, even layer. Cover up that sketch that you made. Yeah, even if a little bit of the sketch is showing, like a little tiny bit is here, not worried. There we go. That looks bicycle seat-esque. Yeah, you could have ones that have more of a pronounced dip, maybe bigger rear end for more cushioning. Lots of different styles of seats out there. There's those really skinny seats just blow my mind. Like for racing bicycles, like there's nothing to cushion anything down there. Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about that. Okay, so we've got our lovely, nice, rich black seat. Let's get some of this bicycle hardware going on here. We need to get some gears and pedals going on. I'm going to start with my pedal. Now my pedal is in the down position. You don't have to do it in that position if you want to do it more that way, any way you want. Black paint. I'm going to use my medium brush still. And a nice, look at that, nice thick bar comes from this joint here down, whatever angle you want it to be. Could be straight down. Let's go with well, is that even straight? I'm looking at this on an angle. Now, usually I paint, when I'm just painting for myself, I'm painting flat on the table. So painting upright at like kind of, what am I at? 30-degree angle. Kind of weird. So that's a good distance, I think, for that piece of metal. And then I'm going to do my pedal horizontally. Just a rectangle, horizontal rectangle. It can go in front of your tire a little bit. That helps add with like the depth. Just a rectangle, nothing fancy. Well, that one's a little smaller. That one's a little bigger. Different styles of bike. That looks good. And then, so probably now I'm going to switch to my smaller brush to do some of the finer details. So this guy can have a little break. He's done a fair share of this painting. He did a lot of work. This medium brush. All right, where's my little squirt? I lost him. There he is. He did the sketch earlier, but now he's going to do a lot more stuff. Ugh. All right, get that wet. I like to add water into my black paint when I want to make thin black lines. Get some water, squidge it around. Not so watery that it's like watercolors. Not that watery. Just a little bit watery acrylic paint. Okay. I'm going to go here and make a black dot, which is like the screw. The screw combining these two pieces of frame together. I'll just make a circle. That's combining the two pieces of frame together. And then I'm going to do it over here too. That's kind of connecting all those pieces of frame together. Okay, I'm seeing this big black line. So this is kind of hovering in midair right now. We need more support. So there's a support beam that connects to that joint there. So if you have your ruler, you can help visualize that straight line. Anything straight edged, spine of a magazine can help you visualize that straight line, or just eyeball it as best you can. A support beam. I like to wipe off the wet paint right away so it doesn't crust up. There we go. And then I could kind of fine tune my line. A little bit of water. There's that support. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna start outlining all of our frame, and even this basket holder outlined with sort of sketchy black lines. They're not perfect black lines. The tire as well. So a lot of outlining here. I'm gonna start with the tire. Why not? These lines could be broken lines, like have gaps, that's fine too. Thick, thin. Anything goes. Sometimes my outlines, sometimes they don't even, connect with the thing they're outlining. They're kind of hovering in midair. Sometimes they're in from the exact edge too, so it's not perfect. It is sketchy. It is painterly. So yeah, you see it up close. You're like, what? What's that? What's that? But from a distance, it looks great. Well, there you go. From a distance, it looks great. Yeah, let's have a closer look at this one. Sketchy. Sketchy, wiggly. That is the style. If you are struggling to get thin lines, light touch, light, barely grazing the canvas with 2 hairs and some air, as Bob Ross would say. 2 hairs and some air. Just grazing. A little bit of water. A little bit of water in there helps thin it out. All right, so I've got my wheel kind of outlined there. I'm going to do a little bit of black down here, like kind of shading, shadow, but messy. Again, messy where the wheel touches the ground. You could do a little, you could do a lot. More outlining, more and more and more. Look at my frame outlines. Yeah, so I outlined this one kind of rounded here. So like maybe this piece of frame is on top of this piece of frame. And then when I go over here, maybe I'll do the same treatment to the orange. So maybe this orange is on top of the other ones. And then I'll do the pink. Go here. Sometimes I brace my hand on the dry part of the painting, or I'll brace a finger just to steady my hand. But yeah, laying it flat definitely will help. And you have to look at your own painting from a distance. Give it like a once over from a distance. Because you might be working, what, 6 inches away from your painting right now and think, oh, it's so messy, I don't like it, hers looks better, yada yada. But step back from it. Even stand up out of your chair, walk to the other side of the room, and you'll think, hey, that's a good looking painting. Huh. Okay. So I've outlined that, outlined that. Oh, I need to outline this. Lots of outlines. Oops. Not perfect. And I will do a little bit of outlining on the basket. Yeah, I did add little squiggles on the basket that you can add or not. Do I want some little squiggles? Sure. No. Little squiggles, couple squiggles on my basket. Nothing fancy. Are these dry? Mine's a little tacky because I did a little bit thicker. So I'll work down here. Let's see. So, this is not the most mechanically accurate painting of a bicycle. It doesn't even have a chain. You can add a chain. You can put a chain. So I've got these wispy circles to represent like the gears without being too technical. I'm gonna just angle this towards me so I actually make a circle here. So this is your center point. So this. Start smaller. Start smaller with these wispy circles, and then we'll expand it to that big. M. Altman says that they're way behind. Remember, you can pause. You can pause and set it back to the point that you're at right now. If you're still on flowers, set the playback stylus thing back. That's what I love about these YouTube live events, Facebook Live. Wispy circles, wispy, messy. The impression of the gears. And how big do I want to go? Yeah. Go too big. Well, maybe I'm going a little big on that. I get carried away. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. A little more darken. I've got some areas a little darker, some a little lighter. Anything goes. Wispy circles. Messy, messy, wispy. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I think that's a good amount. Make it as circular as you can. Mine's a little off. I'm on an angle. I'm on an angle, you guys. And then the spokes, yeah, very wispy. Not a lot of paint on my brush when I make these spokes. And, they all have to start in the middle and move outward. So maybe if I go like this and just like drag some paint. Don't need a whole lot of paint on your brush. You could do like the cardinal directions first. You could go like north, south, west, east. Well, east is hidden. And then you could do northeast, southeast, west, northwest. And yeah, some of mine don't even go to the outside edge. Some of them do. Some are thicker, some are thinner. They're not perfectly straight. Some have got double, some are just single. It's just a mishmash of whatever I felt like at the time. Barely any paint. The impression of spokes. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. I don't want to overcrowd the spokes. Did anyone else have spokey dokies on their bicycles? Those little beads that went on the spokes, that clip onto the spokes. And as you cycle, the beads like ding, 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 and plink, and make all these kind of crazy noises as the wheel goes round and round. Spokey dokies. Come on, someone else knows spokey dokies. Someone. Little beads. Beads on our bicycle wheel. Okay? And I'm gonna do the other, there it is, this part of the gears, and it's on the far side of the bicycle. So it's behind all these bars. It's on the other side, so we have to kind of work around all the other stuff. Emily remembers. Yes, someone remembers Spooky Dokies. Thank you. Maybe the generation before the Spooky Dokies would have put like a playing card so that it makes like a flap, 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 flap noise. I'm sure there's some people who remember doing that. I'm going to add my wispy black circle centering around this. So this is the center of this wispy black circles. And this could be, I kind of made them the same size over there, but this one could be smaller. Wispy. Right in all those little gaps. Right in these teeny little gaps in here. I mean, that's not the worst. Yeah, something around that size. If you wanted to add a chain, you could definitely do that. Or even the impression of a chain. I might do like a little wisp right here. It has to connect that gear and this gear. So a line here, wiggly line, that's kind of like the top bit of the chain, maybe another one here. If you wanted a bit of a chain impression. There it is. All right, more black lines. We've got, well, it's starting to dry, that's good. I'm gonna make that little fence looking thing. Maybe you have a different idea of how baskets are fastened, maybe like straps. It could be like straps or like bungees. Lots of people use bungee cords. You could paint like bungees attaching the basket to that. There's me a little fence, little cage thing. Thin black lines, use some water in your black paint. Water helps make it smooth, spreadable. And this should be pretty dry up here, so no worries about smudges. I mean, it's not the straightest you've ever seen, but it goes with my style. That's my vibe. Like a rectangle with lines. Rectangle with lines. If you want to do some cross, that could work too. I might leave mine at that. I'm going to do a little bit of black details around my flowers, even the leaves a little bit, and then these little like crazy, I would call that like a corkscrew willow branches. Those little sticks are kind of curly whirly. So what did I do? I kind of sort of outline my flowers loosely. Do them a little something something with some black. Not even perfectly how the paint is, just kind of every which way, however I want to outline it. Not even fully around. Got some very loose outlining of my flowers. For my leaves, I think I just did like one side of the leaf. So let's imagine our light source is coming from top left. So these leaves, I would put some black, just a quick little flick down the right side. There's a leaf. I missed that one completely, but that's okay. That's okay. And then let's see, light here. Let's do black along there. Just little flicks, little flick of black. Flick, flick. And oh, our little fallen petals and our little fallen leaf. Might as well give them a little flick along the side, the right side. Just adds a little bit more definition, a little bit more depth to the flowers. And then those little corkscrewy bits. So definitely have water mixed in with your black paint. Nice fluid properties. And then I just kind of let my wrist wiggle around. So loops, zigzags, crazy stuff. All directions. And use up that negative space. So look at all the air space you have around. So maybe you have more room than I have. You can have some really contorted, craggly, curly bits. Even coming right out of here. Yeah, it doesn't have to start all on the outside. You can have some starting within the middle, going out. Even down. I've got one that's kind of falling down. Yeah, I've got like 6. That seems to be the right amount for me, but if you want to have more, you have more than me. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm looking. We're going to add little bits of white here and there too, so we're not quite done. But I'm looking at black. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the amount of black I have here. If you do want to add, I've got these very faint lines here, just to kind of give it like a little bit of maybe a sense of movement. Not really, very faint light lines there. Just a few. I've got 3. Also, if you have like a tiny bit of black paint on your brush and you want to do a little bit of shading on the bike frame itself, we are going to add some white. But let's say this is the bike seat. Maybe it's a little bit shaded underneath the bike seat. Maybe a little bit black under there. But there's very little paint on my brush here. Just grazing it. Maybe I want to do a little bit of that very faint shading along any of my bike frame. So maybe a little bit here. But again, very little paint comes off my brush. Maybe a small stroke here. Or here. All right, and then just a little bit of white. Rinse out all that black. We don't want gray. And we did really good for time, you guys. We're almost done, and we're under the 2 hours. Give that a good rinse. Get a little white, and again, not a lot of white paint. We just need a little bit to come off of our bristles. So I dip it in the white, and then I wipe most of it off. Just wipe it off. So yeah, same with how we did just tiny bits of black along some frameworks. We could do tiny bits of white along certain bits if you want to do little, barely grazing, barely any paint coming off. Here. Here and there, imagine like light coming. Maybe the light would hit right here on the frame. Maybe right here. And mine are all very, very, very sketchy. Very light, sketchy, patchy bits of white. I'll do a little bit on my bike seat too. My bike seat has a little hint of maybe a little bit of highlight along the top. Wisping it. there. Daisy asks if I'm doing any watercolors in June. I do have a number of kind of paintings on standby to show you guys right after we're done here. So I'll show you some free stuff and some paid stuff as well coming up. A little bit more white. Where do I want to go? On the tire. I think a little white wisped on the tire. Could look nice. Anywhere. If you want to do a little bit of white in the flowers in the basket, on the petal. Anywhere. I can do a little on the petal. Petal needs a little highlight. Maybe a little here. Yeah, that kind of makes it pop a little bit of white on there. Maybe even on this little screw. Maybe I'll put a little dash of white. Tiny little smudge of white. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. You can add other things. I don't know, maybe a bottle of wine tucked into the basket. A bee or a butterfly going to the flowers. You want to attach your water bottle. You have a specific water bottle you like to use on your bike. Put it right there. What else? Like a little light. You know how lights on the back of the bike? Little reflecty lights. You can attach one of those. Spooky dokies. Put on some spooky dokies. Rainbow color spooky dokies. Wouldn't that be awesome? What else? Whatever else you can think of to add. I'm going to put my signature, sign it. I usually use a color from my painting. And, well, you can pick any color because we use the rainbow of colors here. You can use red. Yeah, but that's just what I do usually. Like if my painting is all, let's say, a bluey green forest scene, I'll sign it with like a bluey green instead of signing it with, say, hot pink. I always just do the initials. Initials on the corner. You could do your signature along the side, like the edge here, on the back, your whole signature, put the year, a symbol to represent yourself. Some people just use a symbol instead of letters. Anything at all. All right. I would love to see the results of your paintings, your bike paintings. So you can go on our Facebook page, Arts Palette Durham Region, find this event, Ride the Rainbow, under events, and then throw a photo in the comments there. I'd love to see it. Or you could email us. We don't mind email. Direct message us. Definitely. We just love to see the results of your paintings. And I do have a number of paintings I can show you that are past, present, future. Well, I guess this one's present. Past. I could do some past stuff. So yeah, I was saying a little earlier that I'm usually doing the watercolor paintings on YouTube Live. So let me show you one that I think is super appropriate for right now because it's June, it's Pride Month. If you like my style of painting, my style of teaching, check out this video. It's already posted on our YouTube Live. No, not YouTube Live, just YouTube. This one's called Love is Love is Love. We did this one in February for Valentine's Day, but it applies right now. It applies all year long. Just the message of accepting of everyone, all different types of Love. So this one is on YouTube right now. You can paint it today or anytime you want. In the month of June especially would be a good time to paint it. All the different pride flags, right? Pride. We are all about inclusivity. So that one's available right now for free. Another free one available on YouTube right now. Koala Life. Koala Life. I think we called it Koala Life. Sorry, I think this was on Facebook. This one's on Facebook, on our Facebook page, under, videos. You can find loads of them. This one's included. Watercolor koala, free right now on Facebook. This one's also already uploaded free right now on Facebook. Totoro's Friends. Check that one out if you like my style. Let me show you. What do I have here? So we do love putting on all these free events for you guys, and we will continue to do so forever and ever. We love doing the free ones, but we are a company. We do like to have paid events, sell some tickets. So a great way to support the artists that you like online, your favorite artists that do free ones for you, is to grab a ticket to an upcoming event that they have. What do I have upcoming? Why is nothing available to me? Oh, I will give you a sneak peek. This is a sneak peek. It's nearby. This is so new that we don't even have an event date for it yet. I just love this one. This one will be a paid event on Zoom. Acrylic. If you like acrylics, lots of bright colors. I mean, you did this, lots of bright colors. You're going to want to do this one. Bright, bright colors. It's called Safari Butts. Safari Butts. I just love this one. So stay tuned for that one, a paid event on Zoom with me, Chris. What else can I show you that's nearby? I have a number of past events that are available as recordings on our website. Website is artistpaletedurham.com. This one's available right now. You can purchase the recording and do it on your own time, at your own pace. Postmodern Llama. Again, lots of colors. Excuse me. Lots of colors. That's just my style, right? Every color of the rainbow in every painting. That's my jam. So if you want to grab a recording off me, that helps support me. This one should be posted, if not now, then soon. Ballerina in acrylic. Again, that painterly style. Visible brush strokes, kind of not following exactly where the edge of something is, painterly. So that recording's on our website, or soon should be. What else is nearby? Again, with the watercolor, this one is really cute. This one is a paid recording available on our website. Galaxy Koi Pond. Okay, it actually goes this way. Yeah, you can go this way. Any direction. Galaxy Koi Pond in watercolor. A recording on our website. I think that about wraps us up. I mean, it's been exactly like 2 hours. Pretty good for time, you guys. I can definitely answer any questions you have in the last moments here. Type in the chat there. You're welcome to Sheila. You're welcome to CBB and to C Chittle. Thanks for joining me, guys. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Is it Wednesday? I lose all track of time in this pandemic. All right, I'm not seeing any questions popping up. You're welcome to Heather. Yeah, go ahead, add other details. Throw in a water bottle there. Put like a stickers on your bike frame. Decorate your bike frame. Anything. Heather says it is Wednesday. Thank you for confirming. I think on Monday I woke up thinking it was Wednesday, and was already like thinking about this. I'm like, no, it's Monday. You're welcome to Sue. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna clean up. If there's any kids watching, help mom or dad clean up. Don't just take off and let them clean up after you, right? As kids do. All right, yeah, check out our website for future events. Check out our Facebook for future events. Free stuff coming up. Kids camp in the summer coming up. So check out our Facebook page. Like, follow, share with your friends. M. Altman, you're welcome. Your first time? Wow, no way. So what I want you to do, take a photo, go to our Facebook page, find this event, put a photo in there. I want to see what the results were. Usually they're pretty good. Pretty good. I would love to see that. All right, I'm gonna head off. Have a good rest of your week. Stay safe out there, and happy painting, you guys. Thanks for joining me.